Hello and welcome to my online learners. It is time to prepare for your tests. Now, the exams, the unit exams are written in a secured situation, and we do this using Lockdown browser. So let me describe a little bit about what I'm going to do for the details, and then we will look at how to do it. So with Lockdown browser, I want you to realize that the unit exams are secured and closed book, which means for secured, you have to have a camera and a microphone, and they're closed books in the fact that no additional resources are used, just your brain. That's all that it's asking for. When it when we do it, we're going to load something called the Lockdown browser, and there's some steps. There's a Lockdown browser on the left-hand toolbar. Right here, Lockdown browser info. And when you look at it, there's a little video to watch here. So watch the video. And then step two is just checking your system, and it's a lot of information. So unless you have an older system, don't worry about step two. Step three, you need to download the application. So you click on download and install, and I've already installed mine, but it will put in an installer down here. Open this up, and then once it opens up, follow the instructions. But I've already installed it, so I'm not going to install it again. Okay. It will take a while for it to load, and it does take some room, so you need to have it on you need to have room on your hard drive. Okay. So then once you install that, and it will take time, there is a test module. So once you've installed it, you log out completely of Blackboard, out of Blackboard. And then you need to go into, see if I can do this without shutting everything down. You need to go into, here is your Lockdown browser. You need to re-enter the Lockdown browser before you do the 2 practice tests. And there are 2 practice tests. Well, yeah, so there's 2 practice tests. When you look at them, so first thing you do, step 1, watch the video on why it's important. Step 2, talk about the lockdown, or step 2, check your requirements, which you should do. Step 3, download the Lockdown browser. Now, step 4, there is a practice test here on having your own Lockdown browser, and you need to, it's a test on Disney characters, and they're obscure, so I didn't do very well. However, this is a practice, so you get an idea of it. Then, once you are done that one, I've actually created a science test. And it is so here's on the left-hand toolbar, there is a test section. And under the test section, this is where you will find the exams once they're open. So I've opened what's called, it's just a pre-health biology test. Now there's 2 purposes to these tests. The first one is to give you experience with the Lockdown browser, and the second is also to acquaint you with possible question types. As you read, there are different types of question types that I want you to be aware of. So you're familiar with the multiple choice question type where you have options, you choose one. Then there's your basic fill in the blank, and spelling usually counts within a letter or 2, and usually spelling counts. Then there is an essay where sometimes it's called essay, but it's in a few sentences. I'm not expecting a huge essay, more a small paragraph. Then there's one called multiple answers. And in multiple answers, you're given a couple of boxes and you choose more than one answer, realizing that if you choose a wrong one, it does take marks off. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you. Now, when you go to start the Lockdown browser, it will ask you to do an environment check. And this is really important because I want you to prove to me that you don't have resources in your line of sight. So in order to do an environment check, you need to have your camera, and I'll show you how to do it twice. There's I have the movable camera, and then I'll also show you how to do it with a mirror if you don't have a movable camera. First off, when you get things set up, you need to be square and centered. So don't have it this way or the face detection won't work. So you need to be square, you need to be online. Also too, please write at a table and chair, and then your head will stay in the frame, and get your head near the center of the frame. If your head moves out of that frame, it will mark it, and it may tell you to move in the frame. So it's important. And this way, I just watch your eyes and your face and watch you stress out or feel really confident, whichever it is. So you must have your head in the frame. Also, no hats. And do the best you can to put lighting. You shouldn't have a light source behind you, so you should not be writing in front of a window, as I've done on a bright sunny day. So this might flag, it might not. We'll see. Okay, so when it asks you, it will ask you to log in and go through, and you need to show your ID. So make sure you have your ID. If you don't have a RDC ID at this time, another official ID that you look like will be good. Then it asks you to show your environment. Now, I want you to work on a completely clear desk, with the exception of I will allow you to have a water bottle without a label, a tissue in case you're sniffly, and I will allow you to have a paper and pencil, but you must take the time to show me the paper before and at the end of the test. So this way I know it's blank and you're not cheating. Okay? Then when it comes to do the environment, you go through, you take a picture, you show your ID, follow the instructions, make sure you listen and talk when it says talk, and hit the continuum button. Then at one time it asks you to show you in the environment. And that's very important, because you need to prove to me that you're writing in a clean area that doesn't have like things taped to the wall. So when you do that, if you have a detachable camera, take your camera off, start at one end and show me your writing area. As I said, you're allowed to have a paper and pencil. Then show me your monitors so that there's nothing behind it. Good. And I want to see the side too. And I have a bookshelf here that's full of all sorts of references. So I've just hung, it's actually a shower curtain, but I've hung a curtain over it so that you can't, so that I'm not distracted by it, or, you know, looking at the answers off my old textbooks. So that's what you can do if you have a detachable one. If you don't have one, if you have a camera that's right in your monitor, you take a mirror, and this takes a little talent and a little practice. You take the mirror and you show me with the mirror. There is my desk, and there's my paper and my laptop, and here's my monitor, and I have two monitors. If you have two monitors, please make sure one's shut off, okay? And you do the preparation there. And that's just so I know that what I'm seeing is you using your brain and not cheating. Very important you do this, and this way it will show me that you're using your brain. Okay, let me show you what I see when I monitor your video. And I do watch them because it's fun to see. I find learning fascinating, and I think it's interesting to see what kind of test writing strategies you have. Well, this is, when I wrote the little Disney test, I went through the whole procedure and I videotaped myself. And as you see, because I wrote behind the light, I'm flagged as high, and that's because I have low facial detection. So make sure that you have good facial detection. What gets recorded is snapshots every couple of minutes. And initial picture of me, this is my environment check, so it shows me the environment and I can look at it. And then I wrote that question, I wrote that test within a minute, so it didn't take a lot of pictures, but every 15 seconds or so, it takes a snapshot of me. Plus, it can also have the whole video of me writing, which is quite painful, but I can speed it up, and that's more fun, watching me speed it up, okay? So it shows what I'm doing, and there I'm going back and forth, and there's my environment check before I cleaned my desk. Make sure you go slow, and then it basically shows little snippets when I'm writing. Okay, so that is what's going on. Now it'll take a few days or a few hours or days, who knows, for me to record it. And then once I mark the test, I will post it here on my grades. Once it is done, once I've done marking everyone's, and I will release the answers, but not until after the due date. And then you can see where you went wrong and what you made the mistakes with. So hopefully that helps. Any questions? Try this all and then get back to me. Okay, get it done. Bye-bye.